Hi there, it's Samantha. I'm so excited to be making your veil. I'm so excited that you took the time to order the swatch packet to ensure that you get the perfect match for your dress. So inside your swatch packet, you should have a card similar to this that's going to have the 4 standard tulle colors and any other additional color that you may have requested, like pale blush or champagne or anything like that should be included in your packet. So the first step is trying to determine the perfect color for your dress. Now, just remember that you don't have to get an absolute perfect match. What you really want to ensure is that the color that you choose complements your dress, that they don't clash. So if you have a creamy dress, you clearly wouldn't want to choose a bright white veil, or vice versa. But since all designers use different color swatches to determine whites and ivories, you're probably not going to get a perfect match, but you just want to make sure that they go together well. So now that you have figured out the color that you want for your wedding veil, the second step is to choose the length that you want. Now, once again, you can't choose wrong. It's all a personal preference. Most brides know if they want a shorter style veil that doesn't drag at the floor or something longer and dramatic. So if you want something shorter, once again, you can choose any length that you want. But if you want help in deciding, usually what I say is to choose something that hits your dress about where it flares out. So if you have like an A-line dress, a waist length or hip length is really nice. Or if you have a straight cut, you can pretty much choose any length. If you have a mermaid style dress, then what's really common is fingertip length. Usually you want your veil to end where your dress starts to flare out and get dramatic. And if you want something long and dramatic that drags the floor, normally I recommend that you go as long as your dress or longer. Especially if you're going to decide to have lace on your veil, normally you wouldn't want the lace to be sitting on your train unless it's right at the end of your dress, because sometimes it takes away from the details of your dress, so keep that in mind. Now the third thing to determine is the width of your veil. This is actually much simpler than most people think. The width determines 2 things, the volume in your hair and also the spread on the floor. So that means if you're going to choose a long veil, you're going to want something that's as wide as your train normally or wider. 72-inch wide is a pretty standard dress width. It's good to measure. Just measure the end of your train from side to side and you'll be able to get a good guesstimate on if you want your veil to be that wide or wider. Now remember, if you're going short, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that you need to determine is the volume in your hair. So the standard widths to choose from is either 72 inches or a fuller 108. So you can see here how the volume is a little bit more on the 108, and then the 72 is going to be a little less volume and a little more sheer. So that's something that the width does determine. So if you know you want a full volume veil, you can choose our 108 width, and that'll also give you a 108 spread on the floor. So remember, the 108 full volume will give you more volume in your hair and it'll also spread out wider on the floor. The 72-inch will give you a little less volume in your hair. It'll give you a nice decent spread on the floor, but not too wide and dramatic. And it'll also allow your dress to shine through just a little bit more down your back. Now, the next thing to decide is the style of your veil. Now, once again, most brides already know the style that they want. You just probably don't know what it's called. It's really simple to decide. We have 4 standard veil types, which is a single tier veil, a 2-tier veil, a mantilla veil, or a drop veil. So the single tier veil is what you think about when you think of a typical wedding veil. It's a single piece of fabric and it's gathered and bunched on a standard bridal comb, just like this. So it's placed into your hair where you decide it's only a single piece of fabric. That means there's not going to be any layer of veil that flips over your face. The second type of veil is a 2-tier veil. So that means that it's just like the single tier veil, however, it's going to have an additional layer that can flip over your face. So this is also naturally going to add just a little bit more volume, but if you want that traditional bridal face cover as you walk the aisle, then a 2-tier is a really good option. So the third style of veil is a mantilla lace veil. So this type of veil is a single layer of tulle that's not gathered, so it's actually going to make it more sheer. And then it typically has lace all the way around, and it's gonna lay flat on your head. So if you choose a mantilla veil and you decide to have lace placed all the way around, because you can start your lace lower if you know you don't want the lace to go all the way around your face. But if you do choose to have a lace all the way around the veil, then we'll actually put a 4-inch comb under your lace. That way you can't see it. So this is just one style that's very popular today, and it's always a good choice. Now the last standard veil I'm going to show you that's really popular is a drop veil. So drop veils are a single layer piece of fabric that's traditionally just placed or dropped on your head. That means that you will have this nice front coverage that's very sheer as you walk down the aisle. So there's no volume like a two-tiered veil. So drop veils are my personal favorite. It's what I chose to wear at my wedding. I love that it gives you that traditional face cover. I mean, I love blushers. I just think it's so fun. It makes beautiful pictures, but it also has a very sheer back drop too, so it really lets your dress shine through. And when you get down to the altar and it's time to take the blusher off, all you have to do is flip it back, and we can attach a comb for you, or you can pin it in, and then it just falls so nicely. So you don't have to wear it in front. If you don't want to, you can always flip that front blusher back. Now there are some other styles like angel cut and cascade and circle cut that of course that we can do. So if I didn't mention a style that you know that you want, just send me a message, send me a picture, and we'll go from there. The very last decision you have to make is just simply to decide on your finishing accents. So if you want lace on it, if you want rhinestones or pearls, or you may not want anything at all. If you requested lace, you'll see them in your packet. All you have to do is compare them to your dress and decide which pattern matches the best, or which color, or which that you just love. Just keep in mind that you don't have to match your lace to your dress exactly as far as style. Meaning if you want sequins on your veil and your dress doesn't have sequins or beads, that's okay. Choose a lace that you really love, something that you know is going to make you feel beautiful on your wedding day. Remember, choose your color, choose your length, choose your width, which affects your volume, and then choose your style, and then choose any finishing accents that you want. So once you have all those decisions made, then it's time to actually request your custom veil. So I will leave the link below, and all you do is fill the form out and tell me what you decided on, and then we will start the conversation from there.